What's up, guys? Mason the Rock Henderson here, and as you can clearly tell, this is not at all my room. Um, no, this is like a hotel room, staying in for the night until get on a cruise tomorrow. So I'm gonna be out of town. So I'm really behind on my Bones reviews because I've been really busy. So if for some reason you watch my Bones reviews, this this is why. A lot of stuff going on, you know, traveling out of town, a little bit of summer work. So the only time I've really had to do stuff is to watch Copa America or the Euros. So that being said, yeah, the third place match, USA versus Colombia. Disappointing. Simply put, just very, very disappointing. Um, Once again, another match where it feels like it could have been a lot better. You know, you look at the Belgium match in the 2014 World Cup. Um, it felt like, yeah, we lost the game. We probably should have because Belgium was just so much better than us. But Tim Howard made several saves. He kept us in the game, and then we have a last-minute chance to win the game, and Wando sends it over inside the 6-yard box. It kind of felt like that. You know, Colombia had a lot of possession. They looked a better team. And yet it felt like we should have gotten something out of the game, but we just first of all, several disappointing performances and also just so many chances that we waste. And it's frustrating to watch. And a lot of it has to do with how Klinsmann has the team set up to play. You know, it goes beyond just okay, let's just go out there and play. No, the coach goes out there and gives them a tactic to use. And it should be kind of a counterattacking mentality. You know, put some pressure on them make a pass. You know, don't give them time to pick out the pinpoint pass, just like what happened on the first goal. You know, James Rodriguez picks up the ball top of the box, and the rest is right there on the screen. You know, you just as soon as he got the ball and nobody stepped to him, I'm thinking it's about to be a goal. And sure enough, he picks out the perfect pass. Guy heads it across the top of the box. Yedlin's not tracking, and there you go, goal. It's just so easy because we give them so much time to do stuff. So we need to put better pressure on the ball and then counterattack quickly. I'm so tired of watching the ball go to Bradley and then watch him take 4 or 5 touches, turn around and just whack it back to one of the defenders. That's almost all he does. You know, he doesn't do it every single time, but it happens a lot of the time. He's such a negative player. And by negative, I mean he goes backwards a lot. You know, he doesn't like to go forwards a whole lot. And he's not the only one. Jones does the same thing. He doesn't go back as much, but he takes several touches before he gets rid of it. It should be touch, who have I got, pass. Instead, I'm watching as Colombia, every single time one of their players gets the ball, their head's up, they're looking, pick out a pass. It's so simple, 1-2 touch. USA, they get it, they're like, okay, I've got the ball, look up, who have I got? At that point, they're pressured, now they have to kick it away quickly because they're panicking. It's like they don't understand. You know, and there are a few players that do. You know, you can tell by the way they play. There are some players that as soon as they get the ball, they've got somebody in mind, or they're turning on a defender. You know, they're doing something with it. Those few players include Bedoya sometimes. Sometimes he does too much with it, but you can tell he has an idea of what he wants to do. Dempsey, to an extent, I think a lot of the time whenever he loses it, it's not because he doesn't know what he wants to do. It's because he's kind of getting up there in age and losing the ability. Pulisic, I think, is definitely one that you can tell he's got a sense, and I'm looking forward to see how he's going to do, you know, whenever he gets older, whenever he really starts to mature. Zardes is another one that I feel like he knows what he wants to do, but he's, once again, like I said in the past reviews, he needs to go elsewhere besides the MLS because he can get a lot better. And I would love to see him actually do that. The rest of the team just feels like they don't know what they want to do. It feels like they scramble to make a pass because they have no clue. So it's frustrating to watch. It's frustrating to see that Klinsmann should have them set up to play quick pressure. Don't let them have time to play, and then counterattack quickly. Don't not I'm not saying like stupid high pressure. Not like Tottenham who just high press, got guys on the midline, pretty much your back line. Not that type of pressure, but quick pressure. Pressure that makes them make a decision. So they're not just sitting there going, okay, now I got time to find that guy. Um, so that's my frustration with Klinsmann. There are a lot of people frustrated with him. I've noticed it's becoming more and more. After the World Cup, a lot of people were saying, "Oh, he's still got it. We made it out of the group of death." And then, after the loss against Belgium, some people were upset. Some people were saying, "No, we're going to lose it anyway." Then after what happened in the Gold Cup last year with losing to Jamaica, when everybody thought it was going to be us versus Mexico, some people started really questioning him then. And then we lost to Mexico in the what was it? I think it was just the qualifiers. It was like if we won that match against Mexico, we were guaranteed to be. Oh, the Confederation Cup. That's what it was. We're not going to be in it now because we lost to Mexico. So a lot of people really questioning him coming into this tournament. We did well in the group stage. Did well against Costa Rica. Played pretty well against who was the other team? Now I can't remember. Okay, that's frustrating. Eh, it's too late. I'm trying to remember who the other team was, and I can't. It was Colombia, Costa Rica, USA, and one more. I want to say Haiti, but I don't think that's right. That's gonna bug me now. Oh, it was Paraguay. That's who it was. Paraguay. Okay. So we did well against Costa Rica. Did well against Paraguay. Did okay against Colombia. It was the first game though, so kind of figuring tactics out and stuff. First round of knockout, did well against Ecuador. Thought that was the one really good game that they played until the end when they sort of got a little bit relaxed and sort of let them in. And then the game against Argentina, things just fell apart. We weren't ready. We looked nervous. We weren't ready to play against a team of Argentina's quality. And then this game, it felt like, okay, this is a chance for us. It's a revenge match against Colombia. They beat us in the group stage. Let's show them what we can really do. They're missing Carlos Sanchez after he got red carded against Chile. And so I'm thinking, this is our chance. We've got a good chance to do well against them. And then we just sort of waste it. We waste it because we went out with the same mentality that we did against the first game against Colombia, where we're trying to slow down play, we're trying to keep possession, slow passing around the midfield. It wasn't quick, it wasn't counterattacking, it was just same old from Klinsmann. And so I'm frustrated with him right now because of that. So anyway, that's that part of it. As far as individual performances go, I'd have to say Howard did pretty well. The goal, it's so hard to say exactly what he could have done better. You could say, oh, well, he could have read the header coming back across, but if he doesn't cover that near post and then the guy heads it to the near post, then we're questioning, well, why didn't you block the near post? So you could tell he had to pick one. He picked the wrong option, unfortunately, and Yedlin didn't track back, and that's what caused the goal. So I'm not going to blame Howard for that one. I think he did make some good saves. A lot of the time he was very quick off his line. Good to see. So overall, I think he had a good night. Then into defense, Yedlin, once again, hopefully he'll get better playing for, I think he's still at Tottenham. He was on loan at Sunderland this year. I just don't see much from him as a defender. He's a decent little player. He's got speed. He's got a bit of skill. But defensively, he just doesn't have that mindset. It's like he doesn't understand what it means to break down and defend. All he knows is just run. And sometimes it helps him. Other times he gets just beat. And there's nothing he can do about it because he's not a good enough defender. Into the middle, Cameron, I thought he had another average game. Nothing really special. Still think he'll be more effective as a center defensive mid rather than a center back. Bessler came in, I think, mainly just because he hadn't gotten to play the entire tournament, and so give him some time. That's fine. He did okay. No strange mistakes. He didn't really do anything John Brooks wise. Like thinking about John Brooks, he really is a good defender, and Bessler is just sort of there. And then Orozco, I thought he had an average game up until that final stupid moment where I don't know. It doesn't make any sense to me. Why on earth would you do that? The guy gets in your face. If you want to push him away, that's fine. Push him in the chest. I don't think they may give him a yellow for that, but don't retaliate. Don't throw your hand into his face. It's just like the Jones red card. It's stupid. You don't put your hand near his face. That should be first thing you learn. One of the basic things, one of the basic rules. You don't put your hand near an opponent's face. And for some reason, we don't understand that. Somebody gets in our face, I'm going to push your face away. Stupid. Absolutely stupid. So I'm still thinking we need somebody with a calm head as our captain to sort of calm everybody down, because we still don't have that. We still have Bradley, who just doesn't have a calm head at all. Jones doesn't really have a calm head either. I don't know who it's going to be, but we need somebody that's going to be out there to say, guys, calm down. We can't get a stupid red right now, because that's all we're doing. Up into the midfield, Zardes and Bedoya out wide both had average games, nothing special. Zardes, I think, had a few moments where he could have done more. Really could have had a moment to change the game. And I think his little bit of lack of experience against better defenders is what hurts him. The defenders in the MLS, he probably tears them apart. These defenders, he's not going to do that. So, like I said, he needs to go elsewhere besides the MLS, because he can be better. I'd love to see him get better. Bedoya just, he did more in the first few games than he'd done in the past few games. So I was kind of disappointed with him tonight. Bradley, still just, he actually got subbed off tonight. So either Klinsmann finally saw what we've been seeing, or he just thought, oh, Bradley's played all 90 minutes throughout all these games, he needs a break. I don't know, but once again, he had another bad night. Frustrated to see him out there again. I don't know. Maybe things will change, maybe not. See. And then, of course, Jones has just been a good midfielder for us, a good center mid. He's really done the job well. Sometimes tonight, yeah, he did hold on to the ball too long. He did keep possession when he should have gotten rid of it. But he does a good job defensively, and I think that's where he's most important right now, is he's a good center defensive mid. Up top, Dempsey kind of kept silent all night. He had that one really good free kick that Espina had to make a great save for. But he's done more throughout this tournament than he did tonight. He just didn't seem as effective, seemed a bit slower tonight. I don't know what it was. And then Bobby Wood, just really frustrating. He has moments where he does something really well. He had that one shot that cannoned off the post after he held with the ball. He was strong. He was strong under challenge. I was just like, yeah, go Bobby. And then the next thing you know, he's got a chance to lay it off to Zardes, and instead he cuts back into the defender and loses the ball. And I just want to smack it. And then there are times when he's just lay off the ball. He tries to dribble through people, and he can't do it. So, on the one hand, whenever he does something well, I'm like, great, I want to see more of that. And then he does something wrong right after that, and I'm just like, take him off the field. So he's such a back and forth player, and I feel like you've got more consistency out of Dempsey and Zardes than you do from him. So I'd rather see those two up there and maybe put Zusi or Pulisic out on the wing rather than having Bobby Wood in there. Maybe he'll get better, maybe not. We'll see. But for now, disappointed with him. And then Pulisic and Nagby came on. Not as early as I would have liked, but still with enough time to do something in the game. And Pulisic did change the game quite a bit. He comes on and he's affecting the game. He's getting on the ball. He's finding good passes. I'm excited to see. I think this is where the U.S. needs to focus its attention, is some of these young players that are really starting to grow and starting to gain experience. We need to give them more. We need to give them more chances to show what they can do. Because if we just sort of ignore them and we just say, oh, let's go with experience and age over youth, then how are they going to get that experience? These young players are sort of going to get lost. So it was nice to see him get time and really show what he can do and create a few chances here and there. Nagby, I don't see a whole lot from him. He's not even that young, really. So, I don't know. He doesn't seem like the player that we need right now. He seems like an average player. Nothing wrong with him. But I would prefer better than him. So, those are my thoughts and opinions on the team. Final thoughts, just, this is not an excuse. This is not me trying to find a reason why we lost, but it is a review of the game, and my God, the officials were awful tonight, and not both ways either. It was in Colombia's favor, and not because I'm not saying Colombia paid off the referees or anything like that, but it was in such a way that Colombia knows how to dive, and the referees fell for every single one tonight. It was bad. And unfortunately, the U.S. doesn't know how to dive. That's not our mindset. We're not saying that we're not, I'm not trying to say that we're better than them or anything like that, but they're clever. The Colombian players are clever. They know how to make it look like they've gotten fouled. But there are times whenever it's so blatantly obvious that you can tell, even when you're watching on TV and it's zoomed back, you can tell it's clearly a dive. Whenever the player goes down a certain way, there's a certain shape of the body, there's a certain way that, the attacking player composes himself, that you can just tell it's a dive. There was one in particular where Wood was charging down the right back, and you can just see he holds up his hands and isn't really even going for the ball, and the defender just goes, and falls over, and the referee actually calls it, and you watch the replay, and sure enough, just the defender pretty much fell over. Bobby Wood didn't even really have to do anything. He just completely dove. And I could tell that was a dive from where my point of view, which is the camera way up here. I could tell that was a dive. How could you fall for that? And there were several times. It wasn't just that one time. There were several times where I'm just like, clearly a dive. You called the foul. Okay. Watch the replay. Yep, it's a dive. One in particular where David Ospina took a dive in the box. Challenge comes in, he goes down holding his face, and the referee calls him. I'm like, are you serious? I will say, though, the one thing he did get right, obviously the red card was a red card, but he gives a yellow to the guy, then the guy gets up in his face. I think that in itself deserves a straight red, but he ends up, I think he gave him the second yellow for time wasting. So it was kind of like he didn't call the retaliation, but he did at least throw the guy off. I don't know. It was sort of a strange call, but anyway. Those are my thoughts on the game. I'm disappointed. Really was hoping for better. But hopefully, qualifiers will be better. I'm not sure if I'm going to get a chance to watch the qualifiers or if I'll remember to watch them. If I do, hopefully I can get a review up of those and we can talk about those too. But that's it for the Copa America Centenario. Average showing from the U.S. Made it out of the group okay, which was good to see. Then didn't do anything surprising, and a lot of that is down to Klinsmann and how he plays. We're never going to do anything surprising. We're never going to beat the Argentinas of the world. We're never going to beat Colombia. We're just going to beat teams that we should beat, and that's about it. So, disappointed. See where it goes from here. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. What would you like to see change? What would you like to see going into the World Cup qualifiers? All that good stuff. Lineups. Who would you like to see called up? Let me know. We can talk about it, discuss it, and Leave a like and subscribe for future USA reviews. I will see you at the next game. Peace out.